Candace Owens, you've said a few things about Candace Owens.
I mentioned her, yes.
Would you be comfortable with her becoming the president of United? Would you vote for her if she ran?
I don't think she has opinions analogous to mine, and I don't think the president of the United States should be of her cultural background.
So the president of the United States should be of the cultural background.
Well, he should be American, yes.
She is.
By some people's definition.
So that goes to skin.
Well, it goes to a cultural experience.
Give me a black American in your eyes.
I don't think there are any.
That's the point. So that's skin. That's where you're going.
Race is not skin deep.
But I understand that. But to me...
Race is an experience of which has all sorts of ramifications, sociologically, demographically, economically, culturally, religiously, even linguistically.
Well, I'm telling you, what today did is everyone now knows who you are.
I'm glad.
Yeah, no, everyone now knows who you are and what your position is.
Yes.
This is good for you. Now they know. And by the way, some people are going to be like, I like this guy. And I think believe it or not, I think there's a community of people like you that are out there. The same way when you said, I think there's enough of people like Ann Coulter in America.
Sure.
I think there is. But I think some people also say they're also holding America back.
Nationalism is going to be a part of the political landscape, no matter what anybody does, because I believe it's rooted in the innate feelings of human beings.
What do you think about Obama, by the way? When Obama became president, were you doing backflips celebrating that we have a black president?
I was not in favor of him. I was very young. I was in middle school or perhaps elementary school.
He's not one of the guys that you're in favor of. That would drive you insane.
I don't think Obama did a very good job as president.
So then who at that young age made you believe that? Did your parents play a role? Did they say anything about blacks?
My parents did not influence me largely politically. I think my parents did a good job of raising me, but I will not place my political beliefs on them.
I get that, but for that to be injected at a young age, someone influenced that. And that's all I'm saying. For somebody to have these deep-rooted beliefs like this, and I understand when you get to a point where you don't want to get your parents involved or anything else.
Sure.
Somebody doesn't just wake up one day and say, yeah, he's,
Well, it was a process that took years. Because when
how old are you right now? You're October 20th, 98, you said? What year were you born?
October 20th, 1998.
Okay, so
when I was, if I could help you out with a
right,
little bit of
2004, he talks at the DNC. So 2008, I know you weren't, but in 08, he becomes president. Mm-hmm. You're 10 years old. There's only one way that influence is going to be there. It's probably from parents.
I was not following politics at that age. When I was in maybe 2014, 2013, I was not politically minded at all. Like you said, I was the kid like you described, just doing things. And then when 2015, 2016 comes around, I start learning more about politics. Mm-hmm. I start interacting with more people who have all sorts of different opinions online. And eventually, with Trump, I start interacting with a lot of people that like Trump or that dislike Trump. And I find out more of what I believe by interacting with people who believe different things. Sometimes you don't know you don't like something until somebody presents you with it. And you find out, well, that's not really who I am. And then after a few years, and ultimately I got caught up in Charlottesville as somebody who wasn't super familiar with a lot of the things going on. And I found out a lot of what I didn't like. But I also found out that there's something in patriotism, there's something in nationalism that's worth having. It's just it wasn't there at the moment.
Would you ever marry a black woman?
No.
Okay. Middle Eastern?
No.
Armenian, Assyrian?
I want my children to look like me.
Okay. So got it. You want your children to.
I think that's a very understandable opinion.
I don't. A lot of people. There's a guy that goes viral all the time. And he wants blacks to only marry blacks. I don't have a problem with that. I got a connect yesterday from somebody whose parents are Armenian, and she is dating a black guy, and her parents want her to marry an Armenian guy. And I can understand that. I don't have a problem with that. But going back to it,
yes,
you would be more white first. Not America first.
Well,
there's a big difference.
Americans are one of the sovereign nations of the European race. Just like somebody who believes that Iranians should only marry Iranians. Would you say that he is Arab first?
What big name today in America agrees with you?
I would say that there are people who have individual opinions. If I'm going to point to somebody who believes everything I believe.
No, just a specific thing about to say, I'm not comfortable with a Candace Owens being a president. I'm not okay with a Tim Scott being a vice president. I'm not okay.
You put them on the ballot and you'll find out how many.
It's not about finding.
That.
Oh, are you kidding me? Like we learned how many people did that when Obama won in 08. Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is, I don't disagree that there isn't a sect with you.
Yes,
but I think your community is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, not bigger. I think your community.
The political landscape is opening up.
You think so?
There's
Okay.
a lot of people. You know, when you talk
Yeah.
to Tucker Carlson, you asked him what America was, and he said America is a people, it's a place, and experience. And I'm not saying he agrees with me on everything, but he also said that if you take all the people in America and you replace them with somebody else, it is no longer America. I think that is a very common opinion. I think that it's a very deeply felt opinion among a lot of people.
I'm actually with a lot of what he's saying there. I actually agree with it. I'm not. When I came to America, I feel I had to earn the right to come to this great country. Sure. It gave me incredible benefits. I owe to America. I don't think America owes me anything.
Okay.
Nothing. I came here and I had 195 other options. Why did we choose America? Then, we could have gone to Africa. We could have gone to Russia. We could have gone to, at the time, Yugoslavia. We could have gone to why did we come here? We owe America. This is why I served in the military. But I think
Absolutely.
The difference between you and Tucker, you've quoted a lot of people.
Yes.
You've quoted Tucker. You've quoted Ann Coulter.
Sure.
You've quoted Candace Owens. Ann Coulter dated Dinesh D'Souza. Okay?
Sure, that's her
Candace Owens, I think she's black.
I'm pretty aware she is.
And
yes.
Tucker Carlson gets along with practically anybody, and it's not something.
I would like to think I'm getting along with you.
I don't think it's about along the differences. Like I don't think a Tucker would want somebody to become a president based on their skin color and being white first. I think Tucker would want somebody to become president.
Race is not purely skin color. Race is a broader aspect of the human experience.
I get that, but I mean, listen, Candace Owens is as American as apple pie, and Candace Owens is black.
She is black.
You would be uncomfortable with her being a president. I ask you if you would ever marry somebody. No. Okay, cool. There's the fact that you're uncomfortable to say white first, you shouldn't be. You should be comfortable with it.
America is a nation which is a part of what you see as the white race.
Yeah.
And I want to
I don't mind.
people
I married a white girl from here. I think we did the ancestry, and I think she's British. So I married a white girl that you would support of, where she's from. But to me,
I don't support somebody automatically because they are a member of my nation. I support people because of matters of their character and matters of their deeds.
Not what it sounds like, though. It's not what it sounds like.
It absolutely is.
It's not what it sounds like, though.
I think we should be able to have a country, if the immigration policy that you're talking about, where it's largely restricted to merit, you would believe it should be a meritocracy.
Yeah.
And people who have something to bring to the country should be let in.
Right.
If that was in practice for the last 100 years, do you think the country would be whiter or less white?
100 years ago, going back to 1924.
Sure.
If that would have been practice, would it be whiter? I don't know.
So we're only letting in people who could do something that you did.
Yeah, I probably, if you allowed it based on what they did, I don't know, because the educational system in Japan is incredible.
Okay.
I think when I came to America from Iran, I schooled you guys in math. But wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Japan is,
but wait a minute. When I came here in 7th grade, I was shell-shocked of how pathetic the math was in America at 7th grade. I laughed at Americans. And so, go look at how many Persians, Iranians, job creators, what they do. Are you kidding me? They're all over the place when it comes down to business. So bring Japanese, bring Indians. The highest paid.
Yes.
Indians in America. Can you pull up, Rob, which immigrants in America make more money than actual whites? This is actually the direction you went. Wait a minute. Let me just show this to you.
Please. Okay,
so if you can pull this up, Rob, where it shows there's a statistic, income inequality. If you can't find it, Rob, I'll find it. It shows which ethnic immigrants make the most money, and whites are at $65,000. Indians are at $129,000. So do I think America would be better if they attracted more Indians? They kick white people's ass. I mean, if that's the part. And I'm not even Indian.
There's no reason that I believe all these, and what you're talking about is more of the immigration that's coming from the visa programs and not necessarily the southern border.
Well, I'm not for illegal immigration. I'm not sitting here saying we do illegal immigration. That's not where I'm coming from. But
India landed on the moon. I think they can have their own engineers. There's no reason that these people need to come here, especially not in such great numbers that it's transforming American communities.
Yeah, but that part, what you just asked, is when you said, if from 1924 till today, if we, followed guidelines, would America be whiter or this? numbers, specific data, highest paid immigrants in America. Okay, ethnicity. There is a chart, which we've done an episode on this. Brandon, if you're watching, I found it. Okay, here we go. And da-da-da-da-da. You got to see this because I think this will be good stuff for you to take a look at. At the top, for us, US.
The largest growing demographic group in the country is coming from south of the border. There isn't a single country of that nationality on this list.
No, you're
maybe
okay.
at the very bottom.
Okay,
there,
check this out. Indian Americans, number one. You're uncomfortable when it says Indian Americans.
What percentage of the country right now has Indian?
Hang on, let me kind of go through this here for you.
I was asking you a demographic.
Indian Americans, 100,000. Filipinos, 83. Taiwanese, Sri Lankan, Japanese, Malaysian, Chinese, Pakistani, whites. White first. They're 8th place. Then you got the average American. No, but this because I know white is important too. So white Americans are there.
The cultural experience of being American.
But you said you asked me a question.
I understand.
And your question was, if we would have followed the guidelines. If I see this right here, you know what I would say? I'd love to get more Indian engineers here. Are you kidding me? We hire a bunch of them. They're brilliant. So whatever, the IIT Institute engineers destroyed the MIT Institute engineers. Their educational system on how there's a video documentary that was done that got engineers graduating from IIT. I don't know how familiar you are with IIT versus MIT.
I'm not.
Okay, then you ought to take a look at this because our educational system is weak. It's not strong. Indians come in here, they make us better. Educational system from Japan, make us better. Middle Easterns come in here with the math from Iran, they make us better. What's wrong with that? I mean, if America wasn't able to use some of those resources, what I'm against is leaving the border open. Guys, come left and right. They just found 6 people who are on the terrorist list that's come in the last 2 years. What was the number, 6 or 14, Rob? Do you remember?
6.
6 that have come the last 2 years on the terrorist list because we've left the border open. No one's for that.
If we could, because I asked you a question about what the total demographics would look like. When we pulled up that list, the largest percentage making up groups from Africa and south of the border, from Latin American countries, was at the bottom. And again, I'm not saying those are bad people, but I'm saying we need to question why our immigration policy allows mostly those types of people.
That's a fair question.
And we shouldn't be afraid to point out that these various groups are coming from different places that are different.
But this destroys your argument.
What percentage of the present-day United States population is from India or the Philippines? That would be a very excellent question. Because if you subtract that...
But let me ask, okay, so let's just say...
Then what does the demographics look like?
But no, then do you not want more Indians and Filipinos who send their best people?
I think India and the Philippines are perfectly functioning countries. And they need all of their engineers. Because to me, being an American isn't about making money. Being an American is about a unique experience. If the Philippines, or if India was going to be 52% European, I would think that was just as bad as if America was going to be 52% of all of these groups you list here. And it's not only that, but it's that the groups that are composing the largest growing demographic percentage, you will see are actually a net negative in terms of taxes.
You know when you got triggered?
What's that?
Do you know when you got triggered? You're going to go back and watch this because your guy's recording it, right? Graham is recording it. You know when you got triggered?
I believe I am having a civil discussion.
Oh, no. By the way, let me tell you, you're way more respectful than I thought you were going to be. And I'm actually enjoying the conversation.
Thank you.
So I'm not, if somebody asked me and said how you were, I'm not going to say he's an asshole. No.
Good.
Am I going to say he is, whatever the question? That's not the feeling I got. But I will say, the moment I said white first, your body energy changed. All of it.
Because I believe it's a mischaracterization of my view of the nation.
Then that's okay. Let the audience decide on what that is. But to me, I don't have any problem with people who have your position. Others can disagree with it and be like, okay, great. Yeah, he doesn't think a black person should be a president. No problem. He doesn't think a Middle Eastern should be president.
I think Americans are white, and white people should be president in America.
That's why I think you're white first.
And other countries can make those decisions.
You're right. But that's your position. Just stick to it. That's my position. You can say, I believe I'm white first, not America first. Those are two different distinctions.
But Americans are white.
Yeah,
and not all white people are American.
And you would never want a black American who's born here to be the president, and you would never want a Middle Eastern person who's born here to be president.
Being born here doesn't make you American.
Okay. So then you change what the founding fathers who wrote it, then you can say they were fools.
Their immigration policy in first naturalization.
Okay, finally, we're getting into the bottom of it. That these founding fathers made a lot of mistakes with this Constitution.
I believe their immigration
it's not
act was proper.
Yeah,
it was good.
Well, they just didn't know who was going to make more babies over the next 200 years.
Making more babies doesn't mean you get to have my country.
Yeah, but your country, the way it created a constitution, allowed for the people to come here because of the guidelines that they had.
The Constitution didn't outline immigration policy because that is under the realm of the legislative branch of government.
Right.
The issue began with the Immigration Act in 1965.
But the founders created the structure in a way that allowed the legislative or Congress
to make laws. Yes.
Yes.
That's fine.
That's on them then. Then that's the point where they create.
The founders messed up by making
based on your
branch.
position, not mine. Based on what you think. I think what the founders built is ridiculous. I think what the paper, what they built is absolutely insane, and I am super grateful for the way they built it. This is why I believe I'm America first. I would have no problem with somebody who is, I'm not born here, right? So guess what? According to our Constitution, I can't run for office. I respect that.
Yes.
Totally get it.
Okay.
Makes sense to me because I wasn't born here according to the laws that they have. I get why they would do that. Because if somebody all of a sudden from the outside comes in and they want to take over and destroy this great nation, they would. That was the right way they thought.
This country was built with a context of naturalization that I believe.
Right.
You can point.
White first.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Then you find.
And every single European nation has practiced this policy for thousands of years.
Now we're talking, and this ends the conversation.
My opinions have been the same.
Now, I know they have been the same.
Yes.
This is just more messaging for you because it's confusing some of the people on the America First side because they're putting you as America First. So whatever the journalists are writing, they should change the verbiage instead of America First because it's more white first. That's all I'm saying.
They should understand what I believe America is.
I think they will. And by the way, I think, believe it or not, I think you've done a phenomenal job presenting your position of where you're at. Kudos to you. It's very obvious where you're at. And the audience now doesn't have any, questions to say, okay, maybe he's not fed. He's white first. Maybe he's not this. But maybe
if they don't have questions, or if they do, they know where to find me.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.